Imagine two kids born on the same day. Same intelligence, same drive, same dreams. One grows up watching their dad close million-dollar deals over dinner. The other watches their mom count coins to pay the electric bill. 20 years later, we call one a self-made success and the other unlucky. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Capitalism doesn't just reward hard work, it rewards proximity. Proximity to capital, proximity to information, proximity to people who already know how the game is played. And the deeper you look, the more you realize. The so-called free market has a quiet, generational bias built right into the code. Let's define the thing. Nepotism isn't just hiring your cousin at the family restaurant. In a capitalist system, nepotism is the invisible inheritance, the network, the knowledge, the cushion to fail safely. When your parents have already succeeded, even a little, you inherit something more valuable than money. You inherit the map. You know which industries pay. You know what an LLC is by 16. You know that failure isn't fatal because there's a guest room waiting for you. The kid without that map isn't lazy. They're just navigating without GPS while everyone else has satellite. Now think about how capital actually moves. Money loves familiarity. Investors fund people who look like them, talk like them, and went to the same schools. A first-generation entrepreneur walks into a pitch meeting carrying their whole family's hopes. A legacy kid walks in carrying their dad's business card. Guess who gets the check? This isn't conspiracy, it's just how trust networks function. And under capitalism, trust networks become economic engines. The more your last name signals safety to the people holding the money, the easier it is to access it. Take the founder of Tubi, the free streaming service Fox bought for around $440 million. Brilliant guy, real engineer, real grind. But his father was a software entrepreneur who sold a company for over $1 billion before his son ever wrote a line of code. That's not a knock, it's context. Growing up around $1 billion exit teaches you things no business school can. You learn what acquisitions look like. You learn what investors want to hear. You're not starting at zero. You're starting with a coach who's already won the championship. Then there's the classic, Donald Trump's small loan of $1 million. That phrase became a meme, but the actual story is even wilder. Reports show he received tens of millions from his father's real estate empire over the years, plus loans, inheritances, and bailouts when his casinos failed. Whether you love him or hate him, the financial scaffolding under him was massive. The lesson isn't political, it's structural. When failure has a parachute, you can take bigger swings. And in capitalism, bigger swings are how empires get built. The risk feels brave only if you don't see the safety net. Now zoom out globally, the Arnault family. Bernard Arnault runs LVMH, the luxury empire behind Louis Vuitton, Dior, Tiffany. He's been one of the richest people on earth, but look at his kids, 5 of them, all in senior leadership across the group. Delphine, Antoine, Alexandre, Frederic, Jean, every single one holds a powerful position inside the family business. Are they talented? Probably. Are they the most qualified humans on the planet for those exact jobs out of 8 billion people? Statistically, no. But that's not how the game works. Inheritance isn't just money. It's the corner office, pre-furnished. Rupert Murdoch, same pattern, different industry. He built one of the most powerful media empires in history, but he didn't start from scratch. His father, Sir Keith Murdoch, was already a major Australian newspaper executive. Rupert inherited a newspaper at 22. 22. Most people that age are still figuring out how taxes work. He took that head start and turned it into Fox, the Wall Street Journal, and a global influence machine. And now his own children, Lachlan, James, Elizabeth, have spent decades fighting over who gets the throne. 3 generations of media power, all flowing through one family bloodline. And then the Waltons. Sam Walton built Walmart from a single store in Arkansas. Incredible American story. But his descendants now collectively control hundreds of billions of dollars. The Walton heirs make more money in interest while sleeping than most Walmart cashiers make in a lifetime of 40-hour weeks. None of them invented anything. None of them stocked the shelves. They were born. That was the qualification. In a pure capitalist system, that's allowed, because capital, once concentrated, replicates itself. Money makes money, and if you own the money-making machine, you don't have to work, you just have to inherit. Now you might be thinking, okay, that's business, but surely entertainment is a meritocracy, right? You either have talent or you don't. The mic doesn't care who your dad is, except it kind of does. Because before you ever touch that mic, somebody has to give you the studio time. Somebody has to introduce you to the producer. Somebody has to believe you're worth the risk. And those somebodies are way easier to access when your family already knows them. Talent gets you noticed, but access gets you signed. Bruno Mars is a generational talent. There's no debate. But he also grew up in a family of performers in Hawaii, doing Elvis impressions on stage at 4 years old. His parents were musicians. He was raised inside the industry, surrounded by the craft, the stagecraft, the work ethic, the connections. That doesn't erase his genius. It contextualizes it. He wasn't a kid with a dream in a basement hoping to get discovered. He was a kid who'd already done 1,000 shows before puberty. That's a massive head start. Invisible to fans, obvious in the work. Drake is another fascinating one. Yes, Degrassi got him a platform, but his father was a working musician who played drums for Jerry Lee Lewis. His uncle Larry Graham is a rock and roll Hall of Fame bassist who played with Sly and the Family Stone and Prince. Drake didn't grow up dreaming about music from the outside. He grew up inside it. The vocabulary, the rhythm, the understanding how the industry actually functions. That was just dinner table conversation. Combine that with raw talent and an acting career, and you get a head start most artists couldn't dream of. Miley Cyrus is maybe the most obvious example. Her father, Billy Ray Cyrus, was already a country star with Achy Breaky Heart. He had the connections, he knew the producers, the labels, the Disney executive. When Miley auditioned for Hannah Montana, she wasn't a random talented kid from Tennessee. She was Billy Ray Cyrus's daughter, and once again, talented, hardworking, undeniable presence. But the door didn't just open for her. It was held open by a name that already lived in Nashville's Rolodex. That's the pattern. Talent plus access. Always both. So is this all bad? Not exactly. Parents wanting to help their kids isn't evil. It's biology. It's love. The issue isn't that wealthy families pass things down. The issue is that capitalism pretends the playing field is level when it isn't. We tell kids to pull themselves up by their bootstraps while quietly handing other kids the boots, the laces, the map, and a car. That's the contradiction. The myth of meritocracy lets the system feel fair while it operates unfairly. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Here's the deeper layer, though. Capitalism doesn't just allow nepotism. It rewards it because the system favors capital concentration. Once a family accumulates resources, those resources buy better education, better lawyers, better healthcare, better networks, better childcare, better everything. Each of those advantages compounds. By the third generation, the family isn't just rich. They're operating in a completely different reality. They're not playing the same game as everyone else. They're playing chess while the rest of us are playing checkers on a board that they helped design. So what do you do with this information? You don't get bitter. Bitterness builds nothing. You get strategic. Understand that the game has hidden rules and start learning them. Build your own networks. Share knowledge with your siblings, your cousins, your kids. Become the ancestor your family's been waiting for. Because here's the truth nobody talks about. Nepotism didn't start with rich people. It started with someone, somewhere, deciding to give the next generation a better shot. You can be that someone. The cycle has to begin with one person who refuses to play the game blind. The takeaway is simple. Capitalism isn't broken. It's working exactly as designed. It rewards those with capital, connections, and knowledge, and it compounds those advantages across generations. Recognizing that isn't an excuse, it's a strategy. Once you see the real rules, you can start playing the real game. So learn it, teach it, pass it down, and the next time someone tells you that the system is purely a meritocracy, you'll know better. You'll know the truth, that the starting line was never the same for everyone. But where you finish, that part is still up to you.